If you want to take full advantage of college and live your absolute best life in these 4 years, this video is for you. If y'all don't know me, my name is Victoria and I am a very, very busy girl. I am a student at the University of Alabama and I am in their coordinated program in dietetics. Yes, I am training to become a dietitian and I am in school for it right now, which means the coordinated program basically coordinates my master's classes, which I'm in, with my rotations, which I'm also in. This means that 3 days a week, I go and work at rotations for free. 8 hours a day, 3 days a week for free. And in fact, I'm actually paying to work there because they are my internships and they are technically classes. And then the other 2 days a week, I'm in my master's classes. And on top of that, because I want to become a registered dietitian, I am also starting to study for the Registered Dietitian exam, which I plan to take when I graduate in May. But on top of classes, rotations, and studying for that exam, I have a lot of other priorities and a lot of other things that I want to be doing and I'm basically going to be doing during this last semester of college. These priorities include going out with my friends, going to social gatherings, dinners, events, working out and reaching my fitness goals both in the gym and running, learning how to cook for myself before I'm out on my own after I graduate, and also taking advantage of everything that my university has to offer, like going to free sporting events. Whether it's your last semester of college or your first, I'm about to go through all the ways that I take advantage of my life in college, how I have been taking advantage of it, and how I'm actually locking in this semester to do everything that I want to do and more. That includes taking advantage of my college resources, doing my schoolwork, doing my rotations, working out, and hanging out with my friends. Now, this winter break, I talked about how my goal over winter break was to really lock in and really work on a lot of goals and habit building to work on and help myself out for this semester and also life beyond college. And while winter break was more focused on restful relaxation while also getting those things done, I'm kind of bringing the same ideas into this semester. I want to reach my goals, I want to really prepare myself for graduation and life beyond college, and I really just want to lock in and make the absolute most of my time while I'm here. Now, let's talk realism. I listed a lot of things that I want to prioritize and a lot of things that I want to do every single week throughout this entire semester. So how are all of those things going to be possible for me? Well, this is the exact blueprint for how I'm doing it. At the beginning of the semester, I basically made a template for what each week would look like of this semester. And starting with that basic outline of what the week would look like, I could kind of go from there into more detail. For example, the base of this is that I already knew going into the semester that 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I was going to have to go to rotations for 8 hours a day. Now, I did not know what time that was going to be, and I still don't know what time because it changes every single week. Sometimes I go in from 7 to 3, sometimes I go in from 5 to 9, 8 to 4. It completely depends, but I know that at a minimum, I'm going to be there for 8 hours a day. The other thing that I knew for sure was how much time I was going to be on campus in classes on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I could go ahead and block out that time of things that I for sure knew that I was going to be on campus for doing. Then after I basically wrote out the things that I know are mandatory for me and that I absolutely have to do every single week and the days of the week, I wrote out a list of all of my goals. And there are 5 big ones. Goal number 1, run 6 days a week for half marathon training. Yes, that's right. I am training for the Tuscaloosa half marathon, which I have wanted to do pretty much every single year that I have been in college. And now this is the time that I'm actually doing it. So I'm dedicating 6 days a week to building up my endurance, building up my mileage. And that is a really big goal of mine, has been getting back into running if you've seen any of my videos. So running 6 days a week is my first goal. My second goal, which kind of goes into that, is going to the gym at least 2 times a week for injury prevention purposes, building up my muscles, building up my strength. I really want to make sure that I'm good to go when I'm running 6 days a week because it would be all for nothing if I were to get injured and weren't able to run anymore. Goal number 3, I want to study for the RD exam for 1 hour a day, 6 days a week, with one day being an off day or like a flexible day when I could study if I wanted to, but I don't have to. There's a few different ways that people go about studying for the RD exam, and I did a whole video on how I am planning to study for it, and some people wait until until after they've graduated, and then they just do it as like a full-time job, studying all day, every day. And I just know that that's not really gonna be the thing for me to do. So I'm studying just a little bit every day so that by the end of the semester, I can start taking practice exams, and I'll be ready to take the exam as soon as I graduate and I'm able to. Goal number 4, I want to go to at least one social activity a week. And now past Victoria, like freshman and sophomore year of Victoria, it would have been like one a week. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, what are you even talking about? But last semester, it was kind of hard to do one social event a week. I mean, I was so busy. Also last semester, I was commuting for my rotations an hour back and forth from Birmingham, which really sucked. But this semester, I really feel like I have it in me to do at least one social thing a week. That could be going to dinner, that could be getting cocktails, that could be going out, that could be going to the farmer's market with somebody, going on a walk with somebody, something social with like other people who are my friends. One of those a week, that's the goal. And then number 5, go to one sporting event a week. And that might sound kind of random, but sporting events can be really expensive, and I really want to take advantage of UA's resources of being able to go to any sporting event I want for free pretty much. And I also think that it just really ties me more into like the camaraderie of the university, and I just haven't been to that many like spring sporting events in the past. So that is my goal number 5. So we're running, we're going to the gym, we're studying for the RD exam, we're being social, and we're going to sporting events. Now, those first 3 goals are things that I can go ahead and work into my schedule because those are things on an individual basis. So when I know how much time I'm going to be at my rotations a day, how much time I'm going to be at classes, that's when I can work in when or at least how much time I'm going to spend every day doing those other things. So for example, I went ahead and put in what days I'm going to be studying for the RD exam and for how long. And then the other thing I did was I went ahead and put in my workouts when I wanted to do speed workouts, when I wanted to do gym workouts, put that into my calendar. So I went ahead and knew what days I was going to be doing all of those things. Now the other 2 things, the social events, the sporting events, that was going to kind of depend on other people. But for the sporting events, I could go ahead and go look at the calendar of all the games and things that I wanted to go to. And I put that into my Google Calendar. And if y'all don't know, if y'all haven't seen my planning sessions, my Google Calendar is everything. So I knew that if those were in there, I was going to be able to see them. And then that week I could decide which one I wanted to go to or what I felt up to. I am a big believer that if you aren't constantly and consistently seeing something, then you're much more likely to forget about it or forget to prioritize it. So by having my Google Calendar when I can just flip on my phone and see what all is on there, or by also putting my schedule, my weekly schedule that I made at the beginning of the semester as the home screen for my computer, that's also really helpful because I can just kind of automatically see it, and it makes things a lot easier for me because I don't have to try super hard to be reminding myself what my goals are because they're right there in front of my face. So it doesn't take a lot of reminding, it just takes a lot of me actually executing. So far this semester, and I know that it's only been 3 weeks, but I have been able to accomplish a lot of my goals, and looking into the future, the next couple weeks, I'm going to continue to be able to accomplish everything that I've been striving for. First of all, I am totally rocking my classes. I even sped run through almost all of the assignments for some of my online classes before my rotation started because I knew that once they did, I was going to be busy and I wanted to focus on my other goals at that point. So I went ahead and I buckled down on my work, my readings, my assignments, my quizzes, and because I did that, I now feel super locked in when it comes to my classes. I think what has been especially helpful for this has been clocking into campus so that I'm only doing schoolwork during the time that I have dedicated to be on campus and not after. And this focus time has really allowed me to have a strong work-life balance already, and makes my assignments take less time because I get less distracted than when I'm at home doing them in my bed. This has also helped with studying for the RD exam on Mondays and Wednesdays because I can do that on campus while I'm locked in and clocked in instead of at home where it feels a bit more like a chore. And I'll be honest, studying for the RD exam is probably the last thing on my list that I want to do every day, but it has been the only thing out of all the goals that I've really had to force myself to do. Everything else has been pretty easy and pretty fun. It's been helping a lot to keep an Excel sheet of the days that I've studied and for how long, because there are some days when it really takes me like a whole hour just to get through a couple pages of my book. But when I get to log an hour in the sheet, it reminds me that I'm really making important progress and helps me keep track of that over time. Studying daily has also been a positive reminder of what I get at the end of this semester. I'm getting a master's degree and real credentials when I pass the RD exam, and that is really exciting. The other 3 days a week, my rotations have been so fun and rewarding. I've been an Alabama fan my entire life, and getting to work with the athletic dietitians is literally my dream. It's given me so much perspective on other rotations that I've done, all the days that I've showed up to the hospital for food service when all I wanted to be doing was clinical, and all the long hours at clinical when I was writing notes and seeing patients, and all the commuting time to and from Birmingham over the past 2 years. I've enjoyed all my rotations in different ways, and I really feel like I've earned this incredibly fun, joyful rotation, even though it can be a lot of work and a lot of hours sometimes. And I've also been killing my running game. If you know me, you know that I ran competitively in middle school and high school, but got burnt out and basically abandoned the sport for the past 4 years. But 10 months ago, I bought a new pair of running shoes, and 8 months ago, I set out on a mission to really get back into it and become the best that I can possibly be, because I've really missed running. It has honestly been a long, hard 8 months, and though it feels like I haven't improved that much, I know that I am getting better every single week, because in the past month, I've started incorporating like 2 speed workouts a week into my training to really get back all the speed that I've lost, and I really feel like it is helping. And this past week, I just hit 35 miles, which is almost the mileage that I was doing when I was running competitively in high school. And even though my easy/zone 2 pace is around 12 minutes still, I can be proud of milestones like that, and it makes me feel like I'm really on the right track. I want to keep getting better and faster, and I remind myself of that every single day when I either have to wake up at 5 a.m. so that I have time to go to the gym before I run, or when I run at night because I had a long day at my internship and still have to get my workout in. I've been especially proud of myself for getting out there and running in the frigid cold, because y'all know I hate the cold, but I know that spring is coming soon and then summer, and I literally cannot wait for that. And speaking of waking up at 5:30 a.m., I have now surpassed my goal of going to the gym at least 2 times a week to now going 3 times a week. While I've been on a running hiatus over the past 4 years, I had replaced most of that cardio activity with strength training, which is something that I was never really good at before. And though I still heavily dislike leg day, which I know is ironic coming from a runner, going to the gym has given me basically just a newfound sense of confidence, and it's made me feel so much better about myself. I know that when I lift weights that I'm strengthening my bones along with growing my muscles, which is really important not only for injury prevention, but also because osteopenia and osteoporosis run in my family. And I want to make my body the healthiest and strongest that it can be, and I feel like I really am making progress. Arm days especially have become my favorite, and that's definitely where I've been seeing the most progress and the most results. And because I enjoy that arm day so much and working on my arms and my back, I've kind of neglected my abs, so I actually have added an entire 3rd gym session every single week dedicated to core work along with biking, because I have wanted to try doing some cross training and getting some more endurance in without putting as much strain on my legs, because I only want to be increasing my mileage by 10% every week and no more than that. So overall, I'm super happy with how my training has been going. And now for all the fun things that I have been up to, y'all. I really wanted to start going to more spring sporting events, because I am the biggest football girl in the world. Ask me anything about Alabama football. I am a lifetime football fan. I love college football, okay? Spring sports, I'm not so educated on them. I haven't been to as many of them. And honestly, most semesters until now, most spring semesters, I've just been so busy that I have not even been able to get to a lot of the sports, especially because basketball, you sometimes have to wait in line for hours to get a seat at the game. So far this semester, I've already been to 2 basketball games and 1 gymnastics meet, which have both made me feel so connected with UA and just our athletics program. And it's been extra rewarding knowing that if I were to buy a ticket to one of these basketball games, it would be almost $100. And as a student, I can literally go for free and even get a front row seat if I wanted to wait in line for it. And I'm really excited for the rest of the semester too, to be able to go to baseball and softball and all the other spring events and spring sports that are going on. And going to these sporting events with friends has also been kind of a social outing in itself. But on top of that, I have also still been able to maintain going to at least 1 social event a week, if not 2. I've gone to fun dinners with people that I both see every single week, and also some people that I haven't seen in a long time. The other night, I literally got dinner with some of the girls from my Italy program who I hadn't seen all semester, and it was so fun. I've also been to just get cocktails and then come back and eat dinner on my own, or I've also gone out to more dinners. I've gone out to other social events. I've gone out a lot more at the beginning of this semester than I thought I was going to, and my roommate and I even hosted a little get-together with all of the girls that are in our cohort in our coordinated program, and that was so fun because I feel like we always try to get together at the end of the semester, but we're always so busy. So getting to get together at the beginning was really so awesome to get to talk to everybody, see anybody, and we went right across the street to one of our favorite bars where we watched the Peach Bowl, and even though Alabama wasn't in it, which is sad, it was so fun. And so we hosted that whole thing. Never thought that I was going to be a host in college, but here we are. And we've gotten to go to things like Wine Wednesday and just basically going out to the bars, which I feel like I did not get to do as much last semester. But this semester, I'm like, this is my last semester of college. I am taking advantage of it while it's here. And by hanging out more with my group in these like social settings, we've been thinking more about the future, and like we're already planning our end of semester bar crawl, which is so fun. And our professors already told us that they would be offended if they weren't invited, which makes me feel really good and really excited about it. So all in all, I have basically been having the best semester of my life already, and it's literally just gotten started. Like I said, we are like 3 weeks in, but I can foresee in the close future that I'm going to continue on this trend, which is so exciting. And yes, I am tired some of the time, but most of the time I just have a lot of energy because everything that I'm doing is exciting, and I still have the weekends to really chill, relax, and just recover from everything. But I also think the biggest thing that has helped me to do all of this is planning out at the beginning of the semester, planning out what each week is going to look like, and planning out what my goals are. Because if you don't know what your goals are, then how do you know what to do, if that makes sense? Basically, knowing what to prioritize has just made everything so much easier. And I know that I'm going to finish this semester feeling so happy with how I spent my college career and how I finished it out till the very end, even when I was a master's student and even when I was so busy with rotations and classes and everything in between. These are what people say are some of the best years of their lives, and I'm really just trying to hold myself to that standard and just make it the absolute best that it can be. And I just think that like while we're here for an education, socializing and doing all the things that you want to do and reaching your goals is just as equally important, and we're just here to live life and make the absolute most of everything. I hope this video was somewhat inspiring for y'all. I hope that it really like gets your gears turning, makes you think about what you want to do with the rest of this semester, or even what you want to do next semester if you're about to have another year of college. I hope that you'll have a great rest of your week. I hope that you have a great rest of your semester. Let's make the freaking most of it, y'all. I know that it's going to be so incredible, so awesome. I'm going to keep you guys updated all semester on all the fun things that I'm doing, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!